You know, when you're very little, no matter who you are, you think you're not assuming in a conscious way, but you realize if you see a different kind of family, that you realize, oh, I assumed this is what family is, right? And then you have to realize, oh, no, because they're a family and they're nothing like us. But you don't think that until you see the new thing, right? So, my family, I mean, all of it, we don't know. Everyone's dead right now, but when we were alive, my brother and sister and me, and my parents, how did these two parents, who were conservative, both worked outside the house their whole lives till they retired and then died, uneducated. My mother graduated 8th grade, my father high school. How did these uneducated, very conservative, politically conservative people produce 3 rebels? 3 like really out there people. My brother and sister both lived hippie lives. One is an artist and one is, my sister's later years were with her partner fixing up a school bus into where they lived and driving and being in the Southwest, first buying jewelry from Native Americans and selling it at crafts fairs and then making it themselves. So she had her life as a crafts fair person, my brother as a failing artist and art teacher, and myself as who I am. And it's like my parents scratched it. What happened? Both of them 3 times divorced and da-da-da-da-da. So, don't know. They did something right, as we always told them. Don't worry about it, you did something really right. But in that whole thing is the going to other people's houses when I was a kid and seeing what passed for normal, which was eating dinner together, having conversation, a parent asking you what happened today at school, reading books, listening to music, all these things that were not in my house. And I didn't even question why aren't they in my house or try to get them in my house. It was just like, oh, that's a nice thing to do. I'm gonna go to my friend's house, not to escape my house, but to have another experience. So I feel like all my life I just added on experiences and let them impact on me and help me become who I was becoming all the time. I remember going to college, first walking into classes and having been a smart kid at school, now everybody was smart. And that was devastating at first, like, what? And saying, oh, okay, I'm very different in different environments. It didn't like...
Yeah, you didn't become competitive or
bitter. Or like feel like question myself. No, it was just, all right, so how do I have to be here to continue to succeed? Not the same as I was in the smart classes in high school, you know? I don't know what I'm saying it matter of fact, and it's the only way I could do it because I don't remember being traumatized or devastated or anything. It was like, that's what life is. You just try to not fit into whatever, but I guess the third thing, I could go on and on and on, is my brother's first wife was a Black woman from Haiti, and my parents did not approve, to put it mildly, and didn't come to the wedding. And my mother had 8 brothers and sisters, and my father had 4. And only one cousin and my sister and I came to the wedding. And that was like, whoa. That was important to me. That they just found that so disgusting. So that had an impact of some sort. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, in terms of myself, I managed to I don't particularly stay in situations I don't like. So I was, for some reason, decided to study psychology. I have no idea why. And did. And I did very badly in it, got D's in the courses and hated it. And so I didn't stay there. I came back around to it many, many years later because I realized I was passionate about understanding language, thought, and human development. And so it came back. It wasn't uninformed and it wasn't, prestigious. I don't know. Really don't know why. But so I didn't stay in that very long. I was in a lovely 10-year marriage. And when it wasn't lovely anymore, I didn't stay in it, et cetera, et cetera. So I have been in the broad community that is now very, very much a global one for human development and play and performance for over 40 years. And that's because I love it.
I hear you. Were there though like moments or experience in your life when you feel that the way society sees you or puts you in the box of woman either empowered you or limited you?
Sure. And other given identities as well, or other characteristics.
Labels.
Labels, yes. I mean, I remember when I was first married and my husband was a graduate student at Brown University, and I would hang out with the graduate students, and also the professor and graduate student wives and husbands and everything would get together. There was one female graduate student in the PhD program in psychology, and I learned about a year later from that this is in the 70s, okay, that they didn't accept women because they were sure they were going to get pregnant, so it had to be really exceptional. I mean, I find it not limiting in my maybe the last 30 years or so, in the sense that I'm really an organizer, a community organizer and a practitioner. And I also am an intellectual, and so when I think being a woman, and a mature woman, affords me a lot of particular kind of respect. But more than that, I can say things that are outrageous. And I'm very mild-mannered, as you know, and you can hear. I can say things can come out of my mouth that if they came out of a man would be threatening in a negative way, as opposed to provocative in I think a positive way.
Yes.
I don't know if you experienced
yeah, you're a thought provocateur or provocative talker and thinker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And I do think it has to do with being a woman, the response to it.
You talked about what are the prerequisite you can do to avoid thinking in a binary way, in a dichotomist way. And I was wondering, in terms of in your work, if you can explain how do you create change, or what are I remember in the international class you talked about the two principles that you had for the Side Institute and All Stars. One was, I think, to be independent, and I don't remember what was the other one.
The current culture, I would say even almost global, I mean, it's definitely global, whether it touches every single part of the planet is another question, but is to place our thinking powers and our powers of rationality above everything else, and to understand ourselves as individuals who have to learn how to get along and be with other individuals. So I think that is the root of everything that's wrong in the world. And that beginning with us being social, connected, relational, is what we need to do. Now, how do you help people begin that way? Or at least even realize, oh, we are relational, we're in everything we're doing now is relational. It can look like I am telling you what is on my mind and you are telling me what is on your mind. But in order to think that way, you have to accept that you have a mind that's separate from my mind, which I'm not sure is the case. So it's like turns your head around, and it's incredibly easy to involve people in some kind of collective, playful creating of something that they never created before. So the way we change all this, that I think is at the root of how come we don't get along and we're selfish and we're all these things and make categories and labels and stigma, has to do with that all we need to do is transform that through creating something new. All we need, I'm all is like in the hugest capital letters you can imagine, because it's this incredible job. But can we create something that is beyond gender? We created gender. So it seems to me if we created gender, we can create something that's beyond gender. And I don't think it's just a will. I don't think anyone knows how, including me. We have no idea how to do it. What I think we have a handle on, and many, many people around the world, is how you might create an environment in which that might be possible. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm looking for, is it might be possible. Because at the moment it's not.
And it's the name of our series, so it's great. Beyond gender. that's the ultimate goal, yes. Definitely. Yeah. And I would say my last question is, who are the persons that you would like to say really thank you or feel they really contributed to become who you are, mm-hmm. and maybe who you are to become?
Well, one is the obvious one, who's Fred Newman, my closest intellectual collaborator, co-founder of the Institute, architect of so many things in the burgeoning development community around the world, who passed away in 2011. And was just this complicated person, brilliant and kind and very supportive of women's leadership. And for some reason, when you asked me this question, the person who comes to mind is my sister. She's 10 years older than me. She was, as I said, went around in the school bus. I think because she just did what she wanted to do.